we are going to look at factorization. And when we talk about factorization, this one is the work that you have been doing right away from primary level and now in secondary level, specifically senior 2. Factorization requires us to simplify algebraic terms by grouping the common factors. And when we talk about factorization, we are looking at something that is common among or between things. And there are different cases that are involved under factorization, and the following are the cases that are involved under factorization. One being factorization by grouping we have factorization by grouping of mixed terms. Roman 2, we have difference of two square expressions. Roman 3, we have what we call quadratic expressions. And Roman 4, we have sum of cubic expressions. And finally, we have difference of cubic expressions. So, these are the cases that we are going to be tackling as far as the O-level factorization is concerned. We have factorization by grouping of mixed terms, difference of two square expressions, quadratic expressions, and sum of cubic expressions, and finally, difference of cubic expressions. Let me have some pieces of chalk. Good. Now, today, we are going to look at factorization by grouping of mixed factorization by grouping of mixed terms. When we talk about factorization by grouping of mixed terms, you may find we are having some sacks of matoke, sacks of beans, sacks of maize, sacks of matoke in a very disorganized order. But when we talk about factorization by grouping of mixed terms, we are looking at how we can collect the sacks of matoke together, we collect the sacks of beans together, and we make sure that they are put into one place, all together. Yes. Therefore, we can look at this example. Example 1. If we are to factorize, for example, ax plus by plus ay, then plus bx. Somebody says factorize this one completely. Ax plus by plus ay plus bx. Now, the following must be considered before a student starts to factorize, especially terms which are in the caliber of 4. Now, the following must be considered. 1. The terms must be all positives or all negatives, or 2 must be positives and the other 2 being what? Being negatives. In circumstances where you find only one of the terms is positive or only one is negative, that signifies that that expression cannot be what? Cannot be factorized altogether. Therefore, when you look at what we have been saying, these terms are all what? Are all positives. Therefore, we are going to go to identifying the terms which are common. For example, when you look at this one, you are seeing AX, you are seeing BY. Is there any relationship between AX and BY? No. Altogether. Therefore, when we are grouping, we cannot group AX with BY. So here we are going to say this is AX. But when you look at this AX, this is BY. Here we have AY. Altogether. At least you realize that here we are having A, here we are also having what? We are having A. So we can say this is plus AY, then plus BY, then plus BX. Altogether. So you realize that this question can be attempted in two different ways. A student may be said to say that this is AX and this is AY, so A is common. Are we there? However, another student can look at AX with B what? With BX. We are going to also try that one and we see. Altogether. Therefore, this one is going to be, when you group this one and this, the common factor, what does it mean? We are looking at the highest common factor. And for this case, the highest common factor can be a digit, it can be a letter, it can be any symbol. Are we there? So for this question, we are dealing with the letters. And the highest common factor here is what? Is A. Therefore, we are going to pull out A. We put a bracket. And the bracket itself means multiplication. So we are looking at AX here. We have removed the A. We are looking at what we can put here such that when you multiply it, with the A, you get AX. And that is none other than what? That is the X. Therefore, here we are going to put what? X. Such that A times X will go back to AX. Since A is a positive and here it is also a what? A positive. That means here we are going to maintain our sign as what? As positive. So we look for a digit that we can multiply with A such that when we multiply we get what? AY. And that is none other than Y. We close that bracket. Altogether. Then we come here. After the first bracket, you must ensure that you maintain the sign. Why haven't we put here a positive? It is simply because A was the beginning digit. But the fact that here we are going to add something else when we are factorizing this, we must consider the sign that we put in here. And for this case, since all of them are positive, we are not going to pull out a negative. Are we there? Therefore, here we are going to say plus. What do we pull out? What is the highest common factor here? It is B. So here we are having B into, what do we put here so that when we multiply with B we get BY? Here we are going to put what? Y. Then plus, what do we put here so that when we multiply with B we get BX? Here we are having X. Are we together, students? Yes. Therefore, when we reach here, remember we are factorizing completely. You realize that this bracket, X plus Y, there is Y plus X. Hope you are aware that 2 plus 4 is the same as 4 plus 2. Multiplication and addition, they are commutative. Are we together? Therefore, this one can be written as A into X plus Y plus B into. Since X plus Y is the same as Y plus X, this one we are going to say this is the same as X plus Y. So you realize that something is common. We are having now a common factor, a highest common factor. And that common factor is this bracket which is X plus Y. Remember, when we pull out something which is common, we write it once. So what is common between these two? Now we take this one to be one term and this one to be the second term. And what is common here is X plus plus y. So we are going to create another bracket and we ask ourselves, what can we multiply with this x plus y such that we get a into x plus y? That is none other than what? A. So here we are having the a, then plus, here we are having the b. Now, students, do we have anything that is again common amongst our questions? No. That means we have factorized this one, no? Completely. Are we together? Then we stop from there. Now, you realize that when we were looking at, let me give you an example. You may find that you are two brothers at home. Are we together? Yes. But the way you are brothers at home, you find that you all have big eyes. How together? You have big eyes. And on top of the eyes being big, you realize that the eyes are red in color. How together? Therefore, when I tell you, identify the common things amongst these, between these two boys, you will first of all say, these two boys, they have big eyes. You bring the big eyes. You go back and identify. Apart from the big eye, having big eyes, the eyes are also all red. All of the eyes are what? Are red. Then you go back and say, apart from them being red, all of them have two. The eyes are 2. Each person is having 2 eyes. You pull out the highest common factor as what? As 2. That is what we call factorization. Identification of something which is common between 2 sets. All together. So that is the first example under factorization. I think we are going to have more examples in the coming session. I wish you all the best. Martin Happy is my name.